How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of a Gen Alpha skibidi toilet kid who ends up flooding the entire school out of retaliation. It's a pretty crazy story that I know you'll enjoy, so sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a like on the video right now to claim your free nothing, and with that being said, let's just jump right into it. Anyway, so we're going to call the subscriber who submitted today's story Andrew. So anyways, in Andrew's grade, there's a kid who we're going to call Ben. Yes, so crazy that we're calling the antagonist in the story Ben, not like I do that every single time. But basically, Ben was your quintessential Gen Alpha kid. Ben had contracted a very terrible form of brain rot. It had gone straight to his brain and rotted the entire thing. Ben literally spends all day on his iPad watching skibidi toilet compilation videos, Sigma, Ohio, Andrew Tate compilation videos. Bro's actually the definition of the internet has ruined you. You know, moms back in the day who would be like, "Oh my God, you're on your phone, man. That means your brain's gonna fall out." You know, that actually has come true. They were definitely wrong back in the day. But looking at the Gen Alpha population, I'm definitely a little bit worried myself. And honestly, maybe those moms were onto something. Andrew was a pretty normal kid, and there's a third character who's a girl, who we're going to introduce in the story that makes it very, very interesting. We're going to call this girl Molly. And unfortunately for Molly, she was not only the girl that Andrew was interested in, but also the girl that Ben was interested in. So let's just kind of throw ourselves into a situation randomly on a Thursday. Andrew sitting at the lunch table with the boys. That's where we're at right now. So anyways, Andrew's kind of just sitting there, kind of just enjoying himself, chatting with the boys about what's going on. And he kind of like looks over and they're kind of talking about, you know, what he should do about Molly. So basically it's a situation where Andrew's been kind of down on his luck with the whole girl department for actually quite a while now. And about a couple weeks ago, he was kind of randomly in the same kind of place as Molly was. And they start talking. And they actually turned out to be, quite actually compatible. Like Andrew kind of had a compatibility issue. It just things weren't going well, but things kind of turned around because they just clicked right away. So they were chatting a lot. He was texting her, snapping her, doing all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of getting to a situation where, Andrew was kind of preparing to ask her out on a date to officially be his girlfriend. Like, I know that sounds like that's pretty quick. And honestly, to some degree, it is pretty quick, right? To go from that to, girlfriend within only a couple weeks is like, you guys are moving, right? But it's one of those situations where Andrew and presumably Molly as well kind of just felt like, why would we wait if we know this is a good idea? You know what I mean? Like, they're already so compatible. Sure, you could definitely say like, oh, well, you got to make sure that the long-term bumps in the relationship are ironed out or smoothed out. You're definitely not wrong with that. Like, you're definitely not wrong. However, it's one of those situations where it's like, they don't want to wait anymore. Things were going so well. So anyways, on this day, when they were kind of chatting about this, one of Andrew's friends, who we're going to call Will was like, yo, I just heard something kind of crazy. Like, apparently, like, Ben has a massive crush on Molly, too. And the other friend at the table, Charlie's like, oh, no, Andrew. Oh, no, you're going to lose your girl to Ben. And Will's like, oh, no, Andrew, watch out. Molly's going to so fall in love with Ben. And you might be thinking, are these guys like being serious? And the answer is no. Ben is known as the Gen Alpha skibidi toilet brain rot kid. He is known as the kid who's had his brain actually unironically melted by short form videos. Ben is the kid who is known to actually attend Hustlers University, not to make money, but to become more Sigma. He, in fact, did neither. Well, I guess if Sigma, by the definition of like, there's like kind of those cringy TikTok videos where it's like, oh my God, so Sigma, then yeah, sure. He can be a Sigma if he wants. Bro actually unironically went to Sigma Academy in Discord or something like that. Bro actually would tell people, well, actually, I am a certified Sigma because I went to Sigma Academy and I got my rizzler's degree on Discord. It only cost $5,000. Okay, maybe it wasn't $5,000, but you know what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is Ben was quite known as being quite a unique kid, is all I'm trying to say. No bullying over here. No, none of that, that have never come from this channel. All I'm saying, he was quite a unique specimen. That is literally all I'm saying. But anyways, Andrew's kind of sitting at the table like, ha ha ha, whatever, guys. And they're about to change conversations when they see Ben just beelining it straight to their table. So right away, they're kind of just like, okay. Because none of them were none of them were that friendly with Ben. So they all start kind of looking at each other like, yo, is Ben actually coming this way? Like, is Ben coming for me? Is he coming straight line here? So anyways, Ben walks up to the table and he puts his hands down on the table, almost slamming them down. Not fully slamming them down, but almost slamming them down. So obviously, everyone kind of looks up at Ben like, hello, buddy? What's the deal, bro? What are you looking at me for? What? Bro, what's going on right now? And he looks at Andrew. He looks at Andrew dead in his eyes. He says, excuse me, I wanted to let you know that my girl Molly is off the table. And at this point, Will and Charlie just both start laughing super hard. And this is, kudos to Ben to an extent, because he's completely unfazed by this. He just keeps staring down Andrew. And Andrew's like, is she your girlfriend? And Ben's like, well, okay. Technically, she has not accepted my request to be my girlfriend. But right now, at least 50% of the parties involved had voted yes. So might as well count that as a full thing. And Andrew looks at Ben like, bro, did you just say 50% of the parties involved? Meaning between you and her, you voted yes and she hasn't voted yes? And Ben's like, okay, Mr. Science Nerd Guy, that's not the point. The point is, she is basically my girlfriend, so you might as well give up. Sorry. And Andrew's kind of just like, okay, point taken. Okay, what are you going to do? And Ben's like, I will have you know that I spent my allowance on Sigma University. And at this point, Charlie and Will have just, calmed down from laughing. And as soon as they calm down from laughing, they hear that this kid has literally spent his allowance on Sigma University. So they immediately go back down and start laughing again. And Ben's like, and I would let you know that I have my degree. I have a bachelor's in rizz from Sigma University on Discord. So I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm definitely more qualified here. So not only has 50% of the parties agreed to the relationship, but you're also going up against a guy who has a certification in rizz from Sigma University. So I really think that we consider doing anything or trying to get Molly to like you, because she's low-key off the table. Unless you want to go up against a certified rizzler. And yeah, at this point, Charlie actually has to get up and leave. He walks up and leaves because he's like, I'm going to asphyxiate. I'm going to suffocate. I'm going to not have enough oxygen entering into my system because I just can't stop laughing. And Will is his head is down on the table. He's shaking, convulsing from laughing, bro. Because this might be one of the cringiest things he's ever heard in his entire life. But then Ben turns and looks at the subscriber, Andrew, dead in his eyes, and says, and if you try and steal away my Molly, you understand that you will get the wrath of skibidi toilet. And at this point, Will's just he's just crying, bro. He's like, no way, bro just said, if you try and go after my girl, which by the way, there's no relationship, you will receive the wrath of skibidi toilet. Hell no. Bro actually has top tier brain rot. Bro is actually melting from the brain inside out. So Andrew kind of just looks at Ben and is I don't know. He's trying to be level with them. He's trying to be cool. He's trying to, be respectful of him, as difficult as that can be. But he's basically just look, bro, I don't know how else to say it, but respectfully, I've been talking to Molly for a little bit. I'm not going to stop just because you like her. That's always a tough situation. I do 100% understand that, it can be difficult. I've been in situations before. And then Andrew tries to like emphasize with him and like be like, oh no, I've been in your situation too. Cause he's like, oh, it's always tough when like multiple of the guys are going for the same girl. Just know I've been like talking to her for a while. So I'm not going to change my intentions. But I also don't want you to be in the dark. So yeah. So Andrew was basically in the politest way possible saying, no, absolutely not. Get lost, buddy. But in the politest way possible. Which he was saying, like, look, respectfully, I'm not going to change what I'm doing. But I've also been doing this for a second, so I'm not doing it in spite of you, right? He's really, like, making the emphasis clear that he's like, I'm not doing this to get at you or to be like, oh, you like this girl, so I'm going to go after her. But dude, just like respectfully, I've been, going after her for a second, and I'm not going to change just because you want me to. Which in my opinion is absolutely fair. I mean, you guys might disagree, and let me know in the comment section down below if you do. Yeah, but anyways, right, Ben looks at him and says, well, not if I ask her out first. And he like turns around, and Andrew and his boys are kind of just sitting there, and they watch as Ben starts sprinting towards the table where Molly's at. Starts sprinting towards that table. And they're all kind of like, oh, no. Because at this point, Will looks over at Andrew's like, bro, like, this is low-key your fault. Like, your girl's about to be... I mean, is it actually Andrew's fault? No. But, like, jokingly, it's like, you set off Ben. Like, he's now going to go for your girl. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. And Andrew's just like, God. Because he's actually, like, genuinely worried. Not for the reason you think. Andrew is not worried that Ben is going to, quote unquote, steal his girl with his skibidi rizz, end quote, right? He understands he went to Sigma Academy on Discord, but just because he went to Sigma Academy on Discord does not mean necessarily that this kid actually has any chance. But what Andrew is actually worried about is that this kid is going to be like, go up to Molly, be like, Andrew told me that he thinks I'm so sick, and just like ruin Andrew's reputation by association. Andrew doesn't even know exactly how that would happen, but I don't think it's that crazy far off to think that just being associated with him, just being associated with Ben, might be enough to absolutely obliterate someone's reputation. Like, you can't look me straight in the face and tell me that there isn't at least a slight possibility that happens. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me that there isn't at least a slight possibility that something like that would go down. So yeah, sure enough, right, Andrew's a little bit nervous, and they watch as Ben goes over. So Ben walks over to the table Molly's at. Molly's with her friends, like, Ellie and Vivian and all those other girls, right? They're all kind of sitting there. And Ben walks up, and he has the most ridiculous walk you've ever seen. Bro is like flailing his arms back and forth and like proudly protruding his chest forward, but he's not like having good posture. He's like protruding his chest so forward that his like arms are like tucked behind him, flailing around, and his head is back. And while he's doing this, in one of his hands that's kind of flailing around, he has a song playing. It's Bro is playing a compilation of Sigma funk music. Bro actually looked up on YouTube Sigma music, clicked a tutorial, played it on max volume, and starts walking towards the girl. And it's just like, there is absolutely no way buddy's doing this. Like, bro actually went on YouTube and looked up Sigma funk music. Like, there's no shot that no way he's actually doing that, bro. Not a shot. Anyways, though, so Molly is, like, kind of aware that Ben has a little bit of some kind of feelings for her. It was like, I don't know, someone must have told her something that they heard something somewhere. You know what I mean? You know how that kind of goes? Yeah, so sure enough, right, eventually Ben walks over after that crazy, ridiculous posture, flailing his arms around and playing funk music. At this point, all the girls at Molly's table have kind of figured out what's going on. They're all kind of looking at her, and her face goes bright red. And Andrew's looking over like, no, I actually like this girl. I don't want her to feel embarrassed by this kid. Like, Andrew he was still a little bit worried about his own reputation by the fact that Ben walked straight from Andrew's table over to Molly's table and was about to commit the sin, the worst sin of all, being cringe. But also on top of that, Andrew genuinely liked Molly. He didn't want her to go through some uncomfortable, cringy situation either. It's not a win-win for anyone. Yeah, so anyways, right, so sure enough, Andrew's kind of just like, nah. Eventually, Ben, stops, doing this, crazy dance, picks up his phone, pauses the Sigma Funk compilation, and is like, hello, mid-lady. Already off to a terrible start. And Molly is like, her face is bright red. She's staring at, intensely at the floor, refusing to make eye contact with Ben. And he's like, how are you doing today, milady? Yeah. How's it going? What the skibidi is up? I just wanted to leave a period of silence. That wasn't an accidental omission in my part of editing. I left that in there intentionally, so you could get a good sense of what the reaction of the room was. Anyways, Ben's like, oh yes, nice gyatt. And Andrew's unfortunately, he's far enough away that there's distance, but he's close enough that he can kind of hear what's going on. And Andrew's like, oh, hell nah. No, and Will is buckling over again. Thank God Charlie got up and left, because there's no way he would have survived the onslaught of Ben level cringe. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, I want you to comment down below, table. That'll be the secret word of the day. It'll show me the names and faces of the people who made it this far. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Spotify, you can now leave a comment saying that. Spotify recently added the comment feature. So yeah, by the way, if you're on YouTube and you don't know, I'm also on Spotify. If you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you rated the podcast 5 stars and followed it. Helps me out a lot. And by the way, if you want to submit your own stories, all you got to do is go to Instagram, look up Connor Pugs. I have over 1 million followers on there because my reels actually do quite well. And all you got to do is follow me and then send me a message with your story. Please do not send me a message saying, do I want to hear a story? Just tell me the whole story so I can quickly go through and pick ones that I think will perform well, that I think you guys will like. Just please tell me the story. Don't ask if I want one. That's the point of the DMs, so that's all good. And finally, I'm kind of posting a lot of my day on my Snapchat. So go on Snapchat if you have it. Look up Connor Pugs, CONNORPUGS, one word. I have the verified star in there. You'll probably see my face, so you'll know it's me. Anyways, though, so Ben is remember, Ben just came off saying, nice gyatt. Do you guys like, Andrew Tate? And one of the girls at the table is like, no. Ben is choking out, nice gyatt. Do you like Andrew Tate? And some girls no, we don't. It's me neither. I think Tristan's so much better. And they're like, what? Tristan Tate. He's more of a Sigma. I'm on Reddit, and in the Reddit comment section, I was debating in the alpha male comment section if who was more alpha, and they were saying Andrew was, but then I said Tristan was more Sigma. Dead silence. Absolutely no response. So he was like, so, Molly, do you like skibidi toilet? Once again, Molly's just looking at the floor, face bright red, holding back tears. Boys, let me give you a little bit of advice. If you're flirting with a girl and she is she's at the brink of tears of embarrassment over being in your presence, might be time to step back, reassess the situation, maybe go work on yourself, go to therapy, I don't know, figure it out, because that's usually not the response that you're looking for. I don't know about you, honestly. Maybe I'm an outlier here. But I don't like the girls being brought to tears over the shame they feel about being associated with me. Maybe I'm just like an outlier, and I totally respect that. And let me know in the comment section if that's your ideal flirting methods. Bringing the person that you're interested in to the brink of tears because they're so ashamed to be associated with you, even for that brief second. Please let me know in the comments. Anyways, though, so Ben's like, okay, I'm gonna like cut to the chase. I think you have a nice gyatt, so do you want to be my girlfriend? And at this point, there's like another 20 seconds of piercing silence. But after that, Molly gathers the courage to look up and say, no, thank you. It's a very nice, respectful, no, I'm good. So Ben's like, well, actually, but he actually pulled out the, well, actually, if you don't, I will unleash the wrath of skibidi toilet. Molly's like, what? He's like, I said, if you don't be my girlfriend, I will unleash the wrath of skibidi toilet. Molly's like, no. He's like, fine, I will skibidi all of you guys. And he storms out of there. So Molly's just terrorized. Andrew rushes over. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it was going to be that bad. She looks up at him like, you had something to do with it? He's like, I didn't have anything to do with it. He came over to me, said like he liked you and that he was going to go ask you out. Like, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. She's like, it's fine. Just like, I'm really just like, let's just never talk about this again. And at this point, they're like, fine. So Andrew actually stays at the table. Andrew, the sly dog he is, actually turns this into a moment where he gets some more time chatting with this girl. What a player. What a sly dog. He knows what he's doing. Game is game. Yeah, so anyways, he kind of turns into a moment where he's able to chill and hang out with Molly. So good on him, I guess. But anyways, about 20 minutes goes by. And that's when you hear the doors to the cafeteria open up. They kind of slam open. Instead of the teacher being like, hey, kids, like, it's time to go to your next period, which, there's usually a bell. So this is kind of weird. Opens it up and is like, kids, like, I need everyone to, in orderly, get yourself outside. There's been a flood in the school. Please, we gotta get out of here before it's contained. So anyways, it's they're kind of just like, what? And at that point, the fire alarm goes off. So I think someone had to manually pull the fire alarm to get everyone out of the building. So they're walking out. At this point, Andrew's kind of looking over at Molly, just what's, kind of just oh man, this is kind of crazy. We've never had a flood happen before at the school. So no one for a second, okay, maybe for a second. No, not even for a second. Andrew, not even for a second. Molly, not even for a second. Will, not even for a second. No one thought that when this kid said, I'm going to commit the wrath of skibidi toilet to you, did he mean flood this school? They thought that they were completely unrelated events. And in all honesty, and in all fairness, why would they think otherwise? No, seriously, why would they think otherwise? The truth is, they probably shouldn't think otherwise. There's no reason to think that those two are related. But anyways, they walk outside, and they see everyone's kind of hanging out, whatever. Fire trucks pull up, mechanic pulls, I don't know, whoever comes for a flood. School's flooding, it's bad. And anyways, they see the doors open up, and they see 4 security officers, and they see Ben. And at this point, Andrew's kind of what? So Andrew nudges Molly. It's like, yo, look at this. They see Ben walking out. And Ben is staring at the ground looking furious. And that's when he looks up and he sees Andrew. And he's like, that's what you get. That's what you get. Get skibidied. He's dragged away. And Andrew's like, what? Wait, these two events are connected? So anyways, like some guy comes up to Andrew that Andrew like kind of knows. He's like, dude, I got to talk to you. Andrew's like, yo, what's up? And the guy's like, bro, like, this isn't firsthand knowledge, but someone told me this. Basically, that kid like went into the bathrooms, was like screaming, angrily screaming the skibidi toilet theme song while slamming himself, like smashing the toilets. And it got to the point where one of them actually like burst, and they actually smashed both of them. So they're both bursting, spraying water everywhere. And he was screaming the skibidi toilet theme song while also saying that I hate Andrew, skibidi bop, 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 yes, yes. And Andrew's just like, dude, I was just enjoying my lunch. How did it come to this?